Yeah, I just think that Rebirth is going to win Game of the Year because it has the combination of the general population and the critics coming together and saying it's more than great and is incredible. Now, the only other game that has that is Metaphor, but Metaphor is a little bit more niche than Rebirth is. That's still great for people who are into it, but it's not like great for absolutely everybody. It's not a game for the general audience. It's a game for the specific fans of that type of game. Now, they could give it to that still. I think Rebirth is more of a general audience type of a game. That's kind of what Game of the Years typically go to. So I think that it has a higher chance than Metaphor winning. But, you know, I've never played Metaphor, so I wouldn't know. But just, it seems, from what I've seen, it's like you got to be into Persona stuff to like it. Because there's some people who play it and are like, yeah, I'm not into this. Some people don't like the grind of it, because there's a lot of grind associated with Metaphor. There's dungeons that last for hours. It's not like an RPG where it's like, it's for everybody. It's made for the fans of Persona type stuff. They could give it to Astrobot. I would be kind of surprised if they give it to Astrobot because it's not like a groundbreaking platformer. It's the only reason Astrobot is amazing is just because it's a non-Nintendo one. That's amazing. That's why it's special, is because someone else figured out the platforming magic that's not Nintendo. Something like Mario Wonder or Odyssey is more groundbreaking. Astrobot is essentially a bunch of different platformers crammed into one. It's sort of like kind of the same. So that leaves us with Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is kind of innovative. It is kind of like Resident Evil 2 remake, kinda, but it has Silent Hill 2 plot, and the acting is incredible. And it's almost perfect. So I think that game has almost a better chance winning than everything else, except for Rebirth. I think it actually has the second highest chance of winning. Like, if it wasn't for Rebirth, that game needs to win. They just need to give Game of the Year to that. And they could still do it. The only thing about it is the Metacritic score is like 8 points lower than, I think it's like an 86. Rebirth has a 92. So Rebirth is more critically acclaimed. Both are games that a general audience can play and appreciate, and critics absolutely love it, and then players love it. Kind of both similar. And, you know, Astrobot is like that too. That's kind of the reason why I don't think Black Myth Wukong is even in the conversation, because Black Myth Wukong fans are very divided on whether the game is a masterpiece or whether it's like an 8 out of 10. There's like a half and half. There's half of the people that say it's a 10, and everyone else who's like, I mean, it's fun. It's like an 8. So I fall into the 8 category. It's like an 8. 8.5 or something. It's good. I think it's a good game, but I'm not like in this camp of where it's like a masterpiece. Because if we look at every other action game that I've played, like Lies of P, God of War Ragnarok, God of War, Elden Ring, Stellar Blade, like, to me, all those games are better crafted. Even Stellar Blade, like the highs of Stellar Blade, to me, are higher than anything in Black Myth Wukong. Like, the best boss fights in Stellar Blade are magical. Like, near the end, when you get to those really epic boss fights at the end of Stellar Blade, those boss fights are better than anything in Black Myth Wukong. They're more epic, they're story-driven, there's emotion behind it. Like, that last quarter of Stellar Blade is incredible. It's like a 10 out of 10 game experience at that last 25%. The problem with Stellar Blade is that the middle of it sucks. The middle is ass, and that's the problem. Like, there's this big chunk in the middle where it's just like, okay, this is getting really boring. Like, the desert, that entire desert level was like, eh. Here's the thing, I don't even think that the game's gonna get nominated for Best Game of the Year. There's too many good games that came out this year. You have 6 options, so you got Rebirth, Metaphor, Astrobot, Silent Hill. Those have to be nominated. If any one of those 4 is not nominated, what are they smoking? Like, those 4 games have to be nominated. So you have to pick 2 after that. You do Animal Well, that kind of deserves a nomination. That's very innovative. That's 5. Over every other game, are they gonna nominate Black Myth Wukong? And I think if they nominate Animal Well, that will be such a positive. And I think they should. And you know what? If they really wanna cause a stir, they should actually give Game of the Year to Animal Well. Just throw a monkey wrench at everybody. Have Animal Well win as like a middle finger to the industry for all the layoffs and stuff. Just be like, hey, you know what? We're just gonna give this an indie game because F you. Everyone else did layoffs and shit. You know, you guys sold millions of copies of all these games and you still cut all these studios. So we're just gonna give it to Animal Well. That would be cool. I think that would be sick. Yeah, I think my prediction is and always was Rebirth winning. If it doesn't win, I won't be mad. But if it does win, I will be talking so much shit for months. I'm gonna be rubbing it in at every conceivable moment that Rebirth won. You know what would be funny is if they nominated like Star Wars Outlaws or Dragon Age instead of Black Myth Wukong. That'd be kind of hilarious.